Planning to work, study, or holiday overseas? Don't forget your vaccines. Infectious diseases are still common globally, and the right vaccines can protect you from falling sick abroad. Before traveling to anywhere overseas, make sure you are up to date with the routine vaccines. These are mostly vaccines Singaporeans would have received under the National Childhood Immunization Schedule or catch up as an adult. They also include the shingles vaccine, which is highly recommended for travelers aged 50 and above, and the COVID-19 vaccine, which is good to have for every traveler. Chickenpox or varicella. The chickenpox vaccines protect against chickenpox, a highly contagious illness. If you have never had chickenpox or the vaccine, it's a good idea to get protected now. Diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, or DTaP. Tetanus can develop from infected cuts or wounds, which may occur while traveling. A booster is recommended every 10 years to maximize protection. Measles, mumps, rubella, MMR. Measles outbreaks still exist in parts of Asia, Africa, and even Europe. 2 completed doses are necessary for complete protection. Polio. Although uncommon, polio is still not eradicated worldwide. An additional booster may be recommended for overseas travel. Shingles vaccine. This vaccine is recommended for travelers aged 50 and above. Shingles can cause painful rashes and nerve pain, which can ruin a holiday. Pneumococcal vaccine. The pneumococcal vaccine helps the immune system develop protection against specific strains of pneumococcal bacteria, reducing the risk of developing severe infections. The pneumococcal vaccine is recommended for those who are at higher risk of developing severe pneumococcal infections. COVID-19 vaccine. Having your COVID-19 vaccination up to date protects you from severe COVID-related illnesses. Evidence of vaccination is also a good thing to have just in case. Unsure if you are up to date with your vaccinations? Our GP doctors can check your vaccination records and advise if boosters are needed during your pre-travel consultation at Regis Medical. Japan is one of the top travel destinations for Singaporeans. While Japan is usually clean and follows strict health standards, there remains a risk of contracting diseases during your travel, especially if you are visiting smaller cities or rural areas. Vaccinations recommended for your Japan travels include influenza vaccine is especially important during Japan's winter flu season, which is December to March, in crowded trains, buses, hotels, or if you travel in groups. Hepatitis A is recommended if you plan to explore small eateries or try raw food such as sashimi, street snacks, shared izakaya dishes. Hepatitis B vaccine is recommended due to potential exposure through medical care, tattoos, or sexual contact. Japanese encephalitis vaccine is optional but recommended for extended stays in rural Japan or travel during mosquito season. Korea is another favorite destination for Singaporeans. While Korea is generally clean and hygienic, the consumption of street food and raw food could expose you to foodborne diseases such as hepatitis A. It is good to stay protected by keeping your vaccinations updated. Vaccinations recommended for your Korea travels include influenza vaccine, especially for winter trips from November to March, when flu season peaks in Korea. Hepatitis A is recommended for travelers planning to enjoy local dishes, street food, or visit smaller towns. Hepatitis B vaccine is recommended in case of exposure through medical care, tattoos, injuries, or sexual contact. Thailand is a hotspot for tourism due to its blend of culture, relaxation, energy, and cuisine. However, you should look out for diseases that can be transmitted by contaminated street food and water, such as typhoid and hepatitis A. Vaccinations recommended are influenza vaccine, especially during Thailand's rainy season and crowded transport. Hepatitis A is highly recommended due to food and water contamination risks, especially if you plan to consume street food. Hepatitis D vaccine is highly recommended, especially if you plan on getting tattoos, piercings, or having a longer stay. Typhoid vaccine is an important vaccine for those who are planning to eat street foods or staying in rural areas. Japanese encephalitis vaccine is recommended for extended rural stays or visits to northern provinces during monsoon season. Indonesia offers a range of stunning diverse landscapes. Singaporean tourists are recommended to look out for mosquito-borne illnesses and waterborne diseases like typhoid and hepatitis A. Vaccinations recommended for your Indonesia travels include influenza vaccine due to crowd exposure. Hepatitis A is recommended due to risk of food contamination. Hepatitis B vaccine is recommended for longer stays or potential medical exposure. Japanese encephalitis vaccine is optional, suitable for extended stays in rural areas, especially from May to October. Vietnam's rich history, vibrant culture, and delicious yet affordable cuisine makes it an attractive travel destination for many Singaporeans. Singaporean tourists are recommended to look out for viral infections such as hepatitis B and influenza, which can be prevented by getting vaccinated. Vaccinations recommended for your Vietnam travels include influenza vaccine due to crowd exposure, hepatitis A due to food and water hygiene concerns, especially in rural areas, hepatitis B vaccine for those planning for longer stays, getting tattoos, or visiting spas, typhoid vaccine if you plan on eating from street vendors or rural areas. Taiwan street food and bustling night markets make it one of Singapore's top travel destinations. Watching out for common viral infections, such as influenza, will keep you protected during your travels in Taiwan. Vaccinations recommended for your Taiwan travels include influenza vaccine, especially during flu season from November to March, or when you are traveling in groups involving crowded trains or cool mountain weather. Hepatitis A is generally advised if you are planning to indulge in night market food or small roadside eateries. Hepatitis B vaccine is highly recommended if you might be exposed via medical care, tattoos, or sexual contact. Typhoid vaccine is recommended if you plan to stay in rural areas or eat from more remote stores. China has grown increasingly popular with Singaporean tourists. From futuristic cities, beautiful natural landscapes, to delicious and varied cuisine. It is no wonder why many Singaporean tourists love visiting China. However, it is still important to look out for common viral infections such as hepatitis A while enjoying your vacation in China. Vaccinations recommended for your China travels include influenza vaccine, especially if you are traveling during winter months or using public transports in major cities. Hepatitis A is recommended for those planning to try street food or visit rural areas. Hepatitis B vaccine is recommended for all travelers who may seek medical care abroad or engage in high-risk activities. Typhoid vaccine. It is advised for those planning for longer trips or off-the-beaten-path food exploration. Japanese encephalitis vaccine. Recommended for rural travel or long stays during the mosquito season, especially in southern China. From vibrant cities steeped in history to stunning palaces, colorful festivals, and an incredible mix of cuisines, there is something for everyone in India. While you enjoy your travels, it is important to be mindful to common infectious diseases such as hepatitis A and typhoid, which can be spread through contaminated food and water. Vaccinations recommended for your India travels include influenza vaccine is recommended year-round due to crowd exposure. Hepatitis A is recommended due to food and water contamination. Hepatitis B vaccine is recommended for those traveling long stays or potential medical exposure. Japanese encephalitis vaccine is highly recommended if you are visiting rural or rice-growing areas for extended periods. like Odisha, Assam. Typhoid vaccine is recommended for travelers planning to eat at street food stalls. Malaria prophylaxis is recommended for high-risk states in the northeastern region and a few others. Cholera is endemic in India, with outbreaks occurring seasonally, particularly during monsoon and pre-monsoon periods. The Middle Eastern region offers a truly unique travel experience. While exploring, it is important to stay aware of certain health risks. Common concerns include hepatitis A and hepatitis B, both of which can be transmitted through food, water, or close contact. Vaccinations recommended for your Middle East travels include hepatitis A, which is recommended for those planning to consume street food or eat at small local eateries. Hepatitis B vaccine, which is recommended for longer trips or where medical procedures might be needed. Typhoid vaccine, which is recommended for rural travel or adventurous food experiences. All Singaporean pilgrims traveling to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj pilgrimage in June also need to be vaccinated for influenza and COVID-19 prior to travel, in addition to meningococcal vaccination. Mandatory vaccinations include influenza vaccine, meningococcal vaccine, ACWY, which protect you from infections, including meningococcal disease, which can spread rapidly in crowded environments like the pilgrimage. COVID-19 vaccine is also recommended, which protects you from severe COVID-related illnesses. Do note that you are required to carry your proof of vaccination for these mandatory vaccines for visa approval for your pilgrimage. The United States and Canada are great travel destinations for Singaporean travelers, offering everything from world-class cities and stunning national parks to diverse cultures and cuisines. While both countries are generally safe in terms of infectious diseases, it's still important to keep your routine vaccinations up to date. Vaccinations recommended for your United States and Canada travels include influenza vaccine, which is strongly recommended during North American flu season from October to March, especially in cold climates and crowded areas. Meningococcal vaccine, ACWY, which is recommended for students enrolling into USA universities, 1 dose after the age of 16. Many universities require it for students under 22 who are living in on-campus housing or dormitory. Certificates may be required for university health clearance. Europe is a perennial favorite for Singaporean travelers, with its rich history, iconic landmarks, diverse cultures, and incredible food experiences, whether you are exploring bustling cities or relaxing in the countryside. It is important to remember that certain infectious diseases can still be a concern. Vaccinations recommended for your Europe travels include influenza vaccine. This is important during Europe's flu season from October to March, especially for city hopping and crowded attractions. Hepatitis A, which is recommended for those planning to try street food or visit less developed rural areas. Australia and New Zealand are top travel destinations for many Singaporeans, offering breathtaking natural landscapes, vibrant cities, and unique wildlife experiences. While both countries are generally considered low risk for infectious diseases, travelers should still ensure their routine vaccinations are up to date. Vaccinations recommended for your Australia and New Zealand travels include influenza vaccine, which is strongly recommended especially during the Southern Hemisphere flu season from April to October. Hepatitis A, which is highly recommended if you plan to visit rural areas due to lower hygiene standards in food and water. Japanese encephalitis vaccine, which is optional, suitable for travelers who want to spend time in rural areas. South America is also a dream destination for many Singaporeans, offering its wonders, vibrant cities, and rich cultural traditions. While traveling, it is important to take note of certain health risks in the region. Diseases such as yellow fever, hepatitis A, and typhoid are concerns for visitors, and some countries may require proof of yellow fever vaccination for entry. The vaccinations recommended for your South America travels include influenza vaccine, which is recommended for all year-long protection, typhoid vaccine, which is recommended for rural travel or adventurous food experiences, hepatitis A, which is highly recommended if you plan to visit rural areas due to lower hygiene standards in food and water, hepatitis B vaccine, which is recommended for longer trips or where medical procedures might be needed. Malaria prophylaxis is recommended if you are headed to Brazil. Do note that you will need to be vaccinated for yellow fever to enter several South American countries, including Bolivia, Venezuela, Guyana, and parts of Brazil. Some countries like Argentina, Paraguay, and Panama may also require proof of vaccination if you have recently traveled to or transited through a yellow fever risk area. An international certificate of vaccination is required for entry. Africa is an exciting destination for Singaporean travelers, with its breathtaking safaris, diverse cultures, and rich history. It is important to take note that diseases such as yellow fever, hepatitis A, and typhoid are concerns for many travelers, and proof of yellow fever vaccination is required for entry into some African countries. Vaccinations recommended for your Africa travels include influenza vaccine, which is recommended throughout the year, hepatitis A, which is highly recommended due to lower hygiene standards in food and water, hepatitis B vaccine, which is highly recommended, especially for longer stays or medical and volunteer work, typhoid vaccine, which is advised for rural travel or street food, malaria prophylaxis, which is recommended for most parts of Africa. Do note that you will need to be vaccinated for yellow fever to enter certain parts of Africa, including Congo, Cameroon, Uganda, and others. If you have traveled to or transited through a country with yellow fever risk, you will also need to show proof of vaccination when entering countries like Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa. An international certificate of vaccination is required. For detailed vaccination information, please consult our doctors. It is important to note that some vaccines need to be given weeks before travel to take full effect. Planning ahead will ensure that you are properly protected during your trip. So, when to see a GP about travel vaccines? If possible, do it 4 to 6 weeks in advance. That allows for finishing multi-dose vaccines, such as hepatitis B, getting ahead with building immunity, discussing preventive medicines, such as pills against malaria. Even if your vacation is on short notice, it's still worth paying a visit. Some vaccinations or medications might still be useful for you. Travel is exciting, but falling ill overseas is frightening and costly. Having your vaccinations up to date is possibly one of the simplest ways to protect yourself and your family. Stay healthy and travel safe. If you are unsure which vaccine you need, WhatsApp us to book an appointment with our GP doctors. We will go over your medical records, review your documents, and recommend the vaccines suitable for your destination.